How narrow is the window for Mikoshiba's estimated time of death?
Based on how digested his breakfast was, he was killed somewhere between 7:30 and noon on the morning of October 7th.
Pretty impressed you can narrow it down like that with a 2-month-old corpse.
Yeah, well, the window gets much bigger if we consider the possibility that the killers forced Mikoshiba to eat. At any point after the kidnapping, they could have made him eat a typical Mikoshiba family breakfast.
It's possible. All they had to do was make him say what he usually eats.
Why would they
Good.
want to make him
On
eat
the same
something?
page. Now, if we take into account the decomposition of the body, Mikoshiba's estimated time of death actually ranges from 7:30 a.m. on October 7th all the way to the end of that month. So about 3 weeks.
3 weeks? That's a massive gap. Can't we narrow it down further?
The body's just too decomposed to do that. But expand the time frame all you want. Ihara was in custody through the whole thing, so we couldn't have done the deed.
Right. He spent 2 months behind bars. Hate to think a different crime got him such a strong alibi.
In any case, someone else killed Mikoshiba. If we could just get in the same room as him, we'd know who that is.
What was the victim's cause of death? The news called it a massive hemorrhage.
Yup. They slit his throat and let him bleed to death. After tying him to a chair, the killer stood behind him. Lifting his chin with his left hand, his right hand slid the knife.
Sounds like you guys have that bit on lockdown, huh?
It's one of the few things we're sure of.
I noticed the burn marks on the floor in the shape of an arrow. What's with that?
Somebody lit flares here, the ones that shoot red smoke. It was only a matter of time before the fire department got called, and they're the ones who stumbled on the body. Pretty obvious the culprit sent up a smoke signal to make sure the body got found. They probably had the timing all worked out with Ihara so he could predict the body's discovery for maximum impact. And that's exactly what he did, just as the judge handed down the sentence.
What would be the point of that, though?
For all I know, he just wanted to blow everyone's minds.
Wasn't there any security cameras out there?
What shape was the body in when it was found?
Full of maggots and decomposing bad. His hands were zip-tied behind the chair, securing him in place. The cause of death was the throat wound, but before that, they really worked him over. Rough way for the guy to go.
Damn.
They even broke all his fingers. On both hands.
That sounds painful.
They were obviously trying to get some information from
I'm
him.
guessing a professional did this. Could be Yakuza. Could
What's the
be
point of
mafia.
breaking his hands?
We've got some guys checking that angle out too, just to make sure there's no stone left unturned.
Doesn't this place have a manager? I'm sure it wasn't always like this.
There is a property owner. He's been around Ijincho forever. The building's been deserted for 2 years. Apparently, there was a padlock to keep the homeless out, but it was long gone by the time they found the body. Broken by the killers, most likely.
Has the murder weapon been found?
No, there were no weapons at the scene. Real shame. There'd be some decisive evidence.
So when you said it was a knife, was that a guess based on analyzing the wound?
I wouldn't call it a guess. The coroner outright stated that the weapon was a sharp knife-like instrument.
I think I'm starting to get the picture here. That should be it for questions.
Tell me, you detectives out in Kamurocho always this hands-on?
Sorry, what?
I'm saying you guys were quick. We had barely set foot in Seiryu High, and you already had the run of the place. Hell, you even closed in on that Sawa sensei and got a meeting with her.
I was just lucky to have been there on another case.
Is that right?
Someone is watching us.
What? What's wrong?
Somebody's spying on us with binoculars.
No shit?
3 men, 30s probably. The one with binoculars is wearing a black jacket. My number's on my card!
Yagami!
We gotta go.
Wait up! Hold up!
Come back here, you fuck.
You won't get away.
Oh shit.
Hold up!
Square, that's a new one. What is that? Oh shit.
You won't get away. You run off.
This way.
Hold up! Get away from me!
Here we go. I like that.
Leave me alone!
Damn it.
You won't get away.
Oh, I kick buckets as well. It looked like that was highlighted.
Give me a break here! Gotcha.
Damn, hot shot. You're quick on your feet. So let's hear why this fool had eyes on us.
He claims he just wanted to see the scene for himself.
It's true. Ask the other two guys with me. They'll be here any minute.
So you were here gawking, is that it? Better than busting in like you own the place.
I thought that was water under the bridge.
So, who are you? Why'd you run?
I ran because I saw a cop jump out a window and charge at me. Are you saying you'd stick around if you saw that?
He thinks you're a cop. Should we get you a badge and a hat?
I'd be honored.
You have any ID on you?
Will my license work?
That's what ID is, yes.
Kake-san, age 30.
What do you do for work?
Oh, I'm just a professional pencil pusher. Biotech, planning and management.
Are your other two pals biologists too?
No, one's an investor and the other's a consultant. We all went to high school together.
Says here you have a Tokyo address. What brings you to Yokohama?
Oh, well, I'm organizing a class reunion in Chinatown. So I came to scope out the location in advance.
This ain't the way to Chinatown, pal.
Oh, we thought since we came all the way to Yokohama, we might as well peek at the crime scene.
Pretty morbid idea, isn't it?
I suppose.
What high school did you all attend?
Kurakawa Academy, a private school in Tokyo. Hey, over here!
We'll need to verify your buddy's identification as well. I suggest you all cooperate.
Nabi-san!
All right, you jokers are free to go. Appreciate you being so civil. Guess that settles it. You're just dumbass rubberneckers.
The fuck is a
Tough break,
rubbernecker?
huh? After all you went through chasing them down.
I don't mind. I'm out to always swing for the fences.
Yeah, well, your strikeout was pretty amusing. The guy who goes down swinging is all right in my book. Now that that's settled, give my regards to Shirosaki-sensei. Hope you get some dirt on Ihara soon.
Could you stop? What the fuck? Why is it? What do you assholes want?
Excuse me. Does that mean...
Is that the main mission I'm supposed to be doing? Keywords. Ah, fuck. Come on. What the fuck?
Really, guys?
How many fucking delinquents are there, man? What the fuck is happening?
And stay down.
Why does it cancel?
You don't make sense.
Oh my god. It's old, mate.
Well...
Huh? Hey!
Yagamishi! Yep.
Hold on.
The lawyer thing, maybe? Because that's just janitor's clothes. What's that? Okay. Must be that. And that's all it takes.
I owe you one.
Hey, Hmm?
Sure.
Hmm. Nah. Huh? Huh.
Yep.
Time to find some hidden cameras.
Gotcha.
In this building? It's gotta be. Why else would they stop you here? How do I pull out the... This... They said it was a side quest. But why the fuck would they have pulled him up over here? And then where's the main quest? What the fuck? Oh, the search the parking lot. Okay.
I think I'm facing the wrong way.
Come on. Is that something? No.
Signal's weak.
Wish I could fucking run. There.
Here we go. Signal's close. Excuse me. Oh. Yep.
Why else would they want to fucking bug your car, mate? Ah!
Hmm? Huh?
Get back here. No way she's gonna fight. Oh my god, look at that face. I bet you he knows nothing. Yep. Ooh, we got a lot of money. What? Who would want to pay you off?
Excuse me.
Yep.
In other words... Oh. I see.
Fuck. What's happening? Can I climb this? No. Can't. I wonder if I can skate up that. Not really. Oh fuck. I'm pretty sure he was surrendering.
Really, guys?
Move.
Yagami-san, do you have a minute? It's Shirosaki.
Oh, I was just about to call you. I was gonna say, I've got some leads on the murder. By the way, you wouldn't happen to know a Detective Watanabe, would you? From Kanagawa PD?
Oh, yes. He came asking me about the harassment case. Apparently he couldn't interview Ehara, so he got us instead.
Wanna know why that is? Apparently Tokyo PD suspects Ehara might be linked to the murder in some way. And since they don't want Kanagawa stealing the show, they're blocking their investigators out.
That does make sense. Not in a bureaucratic way.
By the way, when's your next appointment with Ehara?
As soon as we're ready, honestly. Did you want to come along?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. But I'd like to do a bit more research beforehand. I want to know exactly how Ehara's crime played out.
Funny you should say that. Hoshino-kun just told me he's going to re-inspect the crime scene tomorrow. He said it'd be best to plot Ehara's movement from Ikebukuro all the way to Shinjuku, where he was caught.
No kidding. Then I ought to go with.
If that's the case, hold on one sec.
Okay.
Yagami-san? It's me, Hoshino. I'm stoked to hear you'll be helping me out tomorrow.
I'm stoked to be there. Oh, and could you bring the statements from Ehara's arrest with you? It'd be a huge help if you could walk me through what happened on site.
You got it. We'll be starting from Ikebukuro Station, so just meet me there tomorrow.
Will do. See you then.
Bye-bye. That one.
Okay, see that sign right there? Ehara was leaning on that before the incident. Yep, just like that. He was standing around searching for a victim. Ehara's the man in the cap and sunglasses.
So, Ehara was lingering at the platform a while, huh?
Yeah, he walked past the ticket gate at 7:43 a.m. This was confirmed by the security tapes as well as when he swiped his transit card. After that, he wandered the platform an entire hour ogling women.
He spent that long choosing a target?
Yeah, sick, isn't it?
Then the security camera that caught him would be... that one?
That's right. Anyhow, at 9:06 a.m., Ehara finally honed in on his would-be victim. Then he boarded her train, which was departing for Shinjuku.
She's the one in the pink cardigan and white skirt?
Yeah, Yui Mamiya, an office worker and mother of a 6-year-old boy. The two of them show up on the train's interior cam as well. According to the victim's statement, Ehara began by rubbing her posterior with the back of his hand. But it didn't stop there. After that, he put his hand up her skirt.
Sickening.
I'm assuming he targeted someone shy, thinking she wouldn't resist. Makes me angry just thinking about it. The victim stated she was too scared to call for help, meaning she endured this for 6 minutes until the train reached its stop in Shinjuku.
Can you send what you just showed me to my phone?
Sure. Now let's head to Shinjuku Station. Then we can watch as the jerk gets busted. Even if we did defend him in court, an asshole's still an asshole. Looks like we're getting close to Shinjuku.
The train's pretty light right now, but it was packed during the crime, right?
Oh yeah, the car occupancy at that time of day can easily reach 180%.
And Ihara should have been standing roughly where I am. Suspicious.
How's he suspicious?
What the? Uh-huh. Suspicious.
Ihara and Mamiya-san both exited the train and got onto the platform here. But right before that, Mamiya-san suddenly grabbed Ihara's wrist and yanked his hand out from under her skirt. That's when she got a good look at her assailant.
So without a doubt, she saw it was him.
Yes, and there were also traces of her garments on his hand during evidence analysis. Anyway, after being grabbed, Ihara wrenched himself free and took off at a sprint. See, here he gets off the train and bolts across the platform. And Mamiya-san chases after him, asking people around her for help.
Ah, this is what they kept looping on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, with all this evidentiary footage, defending him in court was a lost cause.
Was there any security footage that wasn't aired on TV?
Sure, take a look around you. There's more than just one camera pointed at us. They're practically everywhere.
Oh,
Do you have that footage?
As for what I was saying earlier, Ihara was finally tackled right in front of those stairs. Oh right, I have a diagram of the platform to show you.
So Ihara gets off the
Okay.
train here, and then gets apprehended here. How far apart is that?
Roughly 100 meters. Both he and the victim were weaving their way through the crowd. The whole scene was very chaotic. Even after Ihara was caught, the train was stalled 20 minutes until the area was deemed safe.
Hey, you think we could get the positions of all these cameras and where they're pointing penciled in?
Good idea. Let's check each camera's position as we walk over to where Ihara was detained. That's where he
Oh,
got tackled.
fuck.
So if you could let me know whenever you see a camera, I can mock it up on our diagram here.
Mm-hmm.
Suspicious.
Will I click that as well?
Suspicious. Uh-huh. What the? Suspicious.
Is that
Looks
really
like
all
we
of
checked
them?
all the nearby cameras. Let's go up a little further now.
What the?
To be honest, that looks like all of them.
Uh-huh. What the? Hey,
Can I not?
what the?
What the shit, man?
Hey.
Looks like we checked all the nearby cameras. Let's move on.
Suspicious. What the? Hey.
There's so many.
Suspicious.
Okay, looks like we got all the cameras. Our diagram is now complete. Now we'll pencil in the camera locations and what directions they're pointing.
Hey. Suspicious.
Mm-hmm. Blind spot.
What the? Suspicious. What the?
So this was the general situation when Ihara committed his crime. What do you think, Yagami-san? Anything of note?
Do you think Ihara and Mamiya-san were riding the train pretty frequently?
Oh yeah, Mamiya-san commuted by train. She was here every weekday. Same goes for Ihara, actually, but he was off that day. Supposedly, he was going to see his wife, even though they're separated.
Did he ever say why he wandered around the platform for an hour?
He said the thought of his wife had him flustered and he couldn't force himself to board the train. He always had an excuse ready for anything you asked him, including the harassment charges. He pled not guilty, but the evidence said otherwise. There wasn't a single argument we could make in court to establish reasonable doubt.
Safe to say he did it. But on the same day, he knew his son's bully would be murdered in Ijincho. Pretty clear it wasn't a spontaneous need to grab some ass.
I agree. It's almost like all the commotion around the harassment might have been planned out. Maybe everything was, even down to getting captured.
Yeah. He really played everyone by turning harassment into an alibi for murder. No matter how much evidence points to him as a killer, he can deny it with complete immunity.
This is getting crazier by the minute.
At the very least, he had something to do with it. Some connection. But I can't imagine he'll talk. Whatever his plan is, it's pretty clear Ihara is committed.
To what? Getting revenge for his son?
I think so.
Who do you think his accomplices could be? Ihara's a veteran cop. Think maybe he knows how to hire an actual assassin? If so, he could have just paid for his revenge, right?
Sure. But assassins cost an arm and a leg. He wasn't rich before all this, was he?
No. He barely scraped up enough to cover his lawsuit against the school.
Not so.
Hey, it's Shirosaki.
What's up, Sari-san?
I'm scheduling an interview with Ihara tomorrow at the Tokyo Detention Center. We'll take a taxi from Genda's if that all works for you.
Sounds good. But I need to head back to Ijincho for now.
Something you forgot to do?
Yeah. It involves Ihara's motive, which would be without a doubt his son's suicide. So I want to confirm if Mikoshiba really bullied the kid. And the best person to ask happens to be down in Ijincho.
All right. Then I'll let you get to it.
Cool. Then I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Okay. Why would I stay on that? Stop fucking jumping off it, man. Oh, another guessing game. Which fucking elevator is it? 2. Yeah. You better fucking talk, man. I'm getting sick and tired of you not saying shit.
Got a minute?
No, not for you. I really have nothing more to say.
What if I told you it's looking more and more likely Ihara-san had a hand in Mikoshiba's death?
Well, it doesn't concern me.
Ihara-san believes Mikoshiba tormented Toshiro-kun so badly that he took his own life. But neither the third-party investigation nor the courts were on his side. So what's the truth here? You know, don't you? What really happened between Mikoshiba and Toshiro-kun? Why won't you tell me the truth?
Why do you keep asking?
Because you did nothing. You're fucking
I'm going
lying.
to the detention center tomorrow to get some answers out of Ihara-san.
What?
I saw where Mikoshiba was murdered. He endured no shortage of cruelty before he died. They tortured him, you know. They broke all his fingers before they slit his throat.
No.
Yeah.
And somehow Ihara-san knew Mikoshiba would be killed on the day he got caught for groping. It's like he did it to prove he had nothing to do with the murder. But maybe that wasn't his real objective at all.
Huh?
I think he wanted to signal that he'd finally avenged his son.
The body belongs to a guy named Hiro Mikoshiba. 4 years ago, this man took my son from me by driving him to commit suicide.
If I'm gonna face him tomorrow, can't go in without some ammunition. So, 4 years ago, did Mikoshiba bully Toshiro-kun or not? That's all I want to know.
My answer won't change. There's no evidence Mikoshiba-kun did anything wrong.
Are you sure about that? Take a look at this.
That's...
Mm-hmm. Why the fuck do you have this picture?
Toshiro Ihara, your student. Imagine that he's listening to what you're saying now. If you can look at him and say Mikoshiba played no part in his death, I'll leave you alone. In fact, you'll never hear a word from me again. So which is it?
Huh?
"4 years ago, not long after I'd transferred here to teach English. That's when it started. I was trying my best to get acclimated, and I was finally on a first-name basis with everyone. One day, after school, I was out on the roof taking a break, when Toshiro-kun suddenly ran by. I called out to him to ask what was wrong, but he shushed me and kept running. I saw he had a bloody nose. Moments later, Mikoshiba-kun showed up. He was looking for him. I told him I hadn't seen him. Toshiro-kun's face told me everything I needed to know.
So
And you
Mikoshiba
did
was going for
nothing.
him after all.
Yes. Toshiro-kun told me this later on. Whenever he'd leave school with Mikoshiba-kun and his friends, they'd force him to hand over money. At first, they'd try to pass it off as a joke. They said since he lowered the class average on tests, he ought to buy them all drinks as an apology. And Mikoshiba-kun, he was having too much fun with it to stop. He started offering tutoring sessions to Toshiro-kun. Only so he and his crew could extract their tuition from him. They'd even break into his house while his mother was at work and take the money she left him for dinner. And if he couldn't pay,
Well,
they'd beat him up at school or make him grovel in the bathroom.
Didn't anybody see what was really happening?
well, she did.
The teachers either saw nothing or turned a blind eye. Few students knew about it, though. Anyway, I ended up relaying everything Toshiro-kun had told me to those boys' homeroom teacher. Mind you, this teacher had tenure, title, and years of experience under his belt. Do you know what he told me? He said not to cause a commotion because those boys were about to graduate.
Huh.
Why does that not surprise me?
To be honest, it was hard to paint such an outwardly model student in a negative light. There was also no hard evidence to support Toshiro-kun's story. But someone still should have stepped in to help. If only I'd understood that at the time.
You tried.
The only thing I tried was to keep an eye out for him, making sure he wasn't alone, things like that. But unfortunately, that wasn't good enough. On the first morning of the 3rd trimester, Toshiro-kun tied a towel to his doorknob and hung himself in his room.
And that's when you confronted Mikoshiba, right? You asked him point blank if you'd bullied him.
I did. Mikoshiba-kun pretended to know nothing. He was more careful, shaken even, from then on. In all honesty, when I heard a third-party committee was investigating, I was hoping the truth would come out. Students were asked to fill out an anonymous questionnaire, and many of them wrote down exactly what they saw.
Hold on. Didn't the court end up declaring there was no
Yeah.
substantial evidence of bullying?
The
How
chairman,
could they have
bro.
said that with those questionnaires on hand?
First of all, the committee never interviewed anyone directly. Those questionnaires were the only proof of anything. And the teacher of those boys was the one who collected them. Each time he came across any mention of bullying, he'd toss that questionnaire out. Also, he wouldn't get blamed in the end for ignoring the warning signs.
So then the committee was pointless.
A few students did speak up about the bullying online, but their posts weren't much to go on. Toshiro-kun's parents were completely caught off guard. His mother worked through the day, and his father lived all the way in Tokyo. That made it that much easier for the teacher to cover up all the evidence of bullying. He made that statement without even consulting the principal or the chairman. So, right before Mikoshiba-kun graduated, the committee presented their findings. That there was no evidence of bullying.
Who the fuck was the teacher? I thought
over
it...
and over.
What the hell?
Who was the
Japan.
teacher?
300 children commit suicide every year, across all grades. Less than 3% are proven to be linked to bullying. Toshiro-kun's case ended up like that too. But Ehara-san wasn't satisfied with those findings, so he sued Seiryo High, demanding compensation for Toshiro-kun's death. As the trial dragged on, I was eventually called to the witness stand. Of course, my intention was to let everything I knew out into the open. But before that could happen, that damn teacher came with the school's attorney to see how I would testify.
They didn't want you making them look bad, huh?
Of course not. That's when I first learned what he did with those incriminating questionnaires. They had no choice but to reveal everything to me, to try and sway me to their side. I guess they were just that desperate. After all, I was the only adult who Toshiro-kun confided in. I don't think he'd spoken to his parents about it once. So yes, that's why there was never any objective evidence of bullying. It wasn't like I had a mind to record our conversations. And I hadn't personally witnessed it either. The school attorney saw fit to remind me that the law says innocent until proven guilty. And if I couldn't produce tangible evidence, then I shouldn't be accusing Mikoshiba-kun.
So it was witness tampering. That is, they coerced you into false testimony?
Yes.
It must have been incredibly hard on you.
What I should have done was told the truth regardless. But what else could I have really done for him? Some days I just don't know. As much as I've tried to convince myself I did everything I could for him, I can never fully believe it.
So what happened to the teacher who covered all this up?
He transferred to another school. God, to think he's still standing at a podium somewhere.
That's unfortunate.
Even so, I don't have the right to place the blame solely on him.
Maybe, but in that case, Mikoshiba's bullying of Toshiro, or those questionnaires getting discarded. Have you ever told anyone else?
No. I've been silent. Yagami-san, you know what? Back when I was a student in high school, I witnessed bullying firsthand. There was this kid. My classmates pushed him too far. And one day he just jumped off the roof.
Oh my god.
Off the roof?
By some miracle, he survived the fall. And he's been in a coma for the last 13 years. Nobody knows if he'll ever wake up. His name is Mitsuru, and he may never open his eyes to the world again. His mom watches him, but she works full-time. She's a higher-up in the government.
I'm sorry to hear it.
The worst part is that his teacher knew. He even talked to the bullies about it. But all he said was, don't overdo it. But afterward, the public eviscerated him. He had to quit his teaching job. And yet, for poor Toshiro-kun, nobody was held responsible at all. And that includes me.
But if anyone was going to take responsibility for that, Mikoshiba should have been first in line. I'm sure Ihara-san must have thought the same thing.
You know what I wanted to be as a kid? I was so innocent, I wanted to be a teacher. And after Mitsuru-kun's tragedy, I felt practically obligated. And still, I just let history repeat itself.
I don't give a fuck. Alright, I'm landing this one. Fuck you, bitch.